It is Monday, July 30th, 2018. This is the Wrestling Inc. podcast. I'm Glenn Rubenstein, joined by Raj Giri. Matt Morgan coming along here soon. How's it going, Raj?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing okay. You know, it's weird taking a couple weeks off from Raw, and then tonight I feel like I was able to catch up pretty easily to what was going on. Did anything major happen in the last 2 weeks that I need to go back and watch?
Not really. I mean, I feel like with Raw, once you see the Raw after a pay-per-view, it's pretty much the same show week after week until the next one. Except tonight was a little different. There was a lot on the show tonight that I liked.
Yeah, really building up that SummerSlam main event with Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, the heavy lifting, the pieces being put into place, even perhaps for a Paul Heyman turn on Brock. So, yeah, man.
Or Heyman could be gone. I mean, that could have been a way to write him off.
Yeah.
They haven't seemed interested in keeping him on, like having him manage someone else in a while. So I could see them, just dropping Heyman once Lesnar's gone, if he is in fact gone. I mean, it definitely seems that way. Definitely seems like he's headed to the UFC. He's back in the drug testing pool. He had his first test already. So yeah, that could have been a way to write him off. We'll see.
Yeah,
I'd personally like to see him aligned with Roman and turn heel.
That'd be something else. Although I don't know. Roman talks so much. It seems weird to put Roman with Paul Heyman.
Well, CM Punk did too. It's just that dynamic, how well it works. And I think if you were to turn Roman heel, it gives an extra something. I don't see them doing that, but I think it would be cool if they did.
Yeah. So Matt Morgan will be along in a little bit. We'll go into Raw, but first, sad news, man. Both Nikolai Volkoff and Brian Christopher passed away in recent days.
And Brickhouse Brown.
Oh, man.
Yeah, 3 in one day. All the announcements came on Sunday. Just such a weird day. I remember last year there was a 3-day period where every day there was an announcement of someone else dying. It was George Animal Steele, Ivan Koloff, and who was the third? Nicole Bass. But this was all on the same day, so it was just craziness. Brickhouse Brown had actually, was very sick. They thought he died a week ago, like 9 days ago.
Wow.
He flatlined on July 20th and was pronounced dead. They were actually bringing the coroners to his home. B. Brian Blair got a hold of that, tweeted out that Brickhouse Brown had passed away. And then while they're waiting for the coroner, Brickhouse Brown's mother heard him say, "Mom, I'm hungry." So he was not dead. And so, he came back to and, lived another 9 days and then passed away. So our condolences with him. He was battling cancer. He was 57 when he passed away. So our condolences with his friends and family.
Definitely. That's crazy. I mean, I guess, at least to have those 9 days in between.
Well,
look, there's no good scenario, Raj, right?
Right. I know some people are calling it a miracle, but it didn't really, a miracle would have. All right, let's forget.
I know. You should think. Well, Nikki Sixx from Motley Crue technically was dead, and he's still alive. But yes, 9 days. I guess take what you can get.
Exactly.
But it's very sad, though.
It was very sad. Yeah.
And then with Nikolai, what was Nikolai's cause of death?
So Nikolai, he was in the hospital, earlier last week for dehydration and some other issues. But he passed away at the age of 70. Really famous wrestler in the 80s.
Oh my God. Up there, probably what? Talk about timing with the height of the Cold War and everything else. Being the Soviet heel. He was in the spotlight. It was him, Piper, and the Sheik.
Yeah.
Much of our childhood.
And I was a big fan of Saturday Night's Main Event, back in the 80s. And the very first match of the very first Saturday Night's Main Event featured Nikolai. It was Mike Rotundo, Barry Windham, and Ricky Steamboat beating Nikolai, the Iron Sheik, and George the Animal Steel. And then on the very second episode of Saturday Night's Main Event, Nikolai Volkoff wrestled Hulk Hogan for the WWF Championship. So that kind of shows just, how popular, how big he was back then.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, definitely a legend and 70's not really that old. So, our condolences to to his family and friends as well.
Oh, absolutely. And then Brian Christopher Lawler, perhaps the most tragic of circumstances. I mean, so it's true that he did take his own life.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's how they're treating it right now. Yeah, man. I mean, it's so sad. He was arrested earlier this month for a DUI, and let me find it again. It didn't come out until last week publicly, but he had last month he was also arrested for this for not paying a hotel bill. So he's had some legal problems. He's had other DUIs. So anyways, he had been in jail since July 7th. So that's what, three plus weeks for a DUI. So that kind of shows, the rap sheet that he had.
Wow.
He was on a $40,000 bond. And man, I can only imagine how Jerry feels.
Yeah.
I think from what it sounds like, he didn't pay it because he wanted, Christopher to learn and, basically pay his dues and learn from this. And then Lawler wanted to send him to rehab after he got out. And, then this happened. So, it's crazy. So basically he hung himself in jail. So, yeah, he was another one, like, the Attitude Era. He was one of the most over acts. Too Cool. I remember there was an episode of Raw where it was like a 10-man tag or something, and it was Too Cool. I think it was like Rikishi and The Rock and someone else, but it was I'm pretty sure it was in Dallas, and they just had the crowd. I mean, the crowd was on fire. It was like, it was a rarity, like how crazy that crowd was. It was awesome. And he had a very successful run with Too Cool, with Scotty 2 Hotty. Never got to be at his dad's level, and I think he always really looked up to his father. You'd hear in interviews how it's tough being the son of someone so legendary, and I think he had a tough time with that. But yeah, it's a sad one.
No, absolutely, man. So those three, wow. Our condolences, of course, to all the families. Brian Christopher, Nikolai had in memoriam cards at the opening of tonight's Raw. And so the WWE acknowledged both of those at the start. We then went to a video package from last week's main event with Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley. Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar were shown backstage. And out to the ring tonight, we had Reigns come out there and had Heyman come out. The two of them faced off, and it set up this idea that Brock Lesnar was in the building, but would Brock Lesnar come to the ring tonight? That was the big source of tension all throughout tonight's Raw. And I will say it got better as it went on. I thought the opening was sort of meh, but I liked all the cuts to Brock backstage. I wish they would have had Brock do more than just read the different magazines. I think it was the same magazine. I think there were two different ones. There was one outdoor. I can't remember the name of the first one, but I know there were at least two tonight. But I think I wish it would have done more to develop his character and that indifference.
Really? I thought they did a lot with that there. Just by what they did, it showed what every fan thinks of Brock, and it or every WWE fan thinks of Brock, that he doesn't care. And, him saying he doesn't watch the show, I think that was great. And I thought this did a lot. You don't want to overdo it. And I thought this was subtle enough. I thought Brock was intense, and by being indifferent and intense can be tough to pull off. So I thought this was really strong tonight. This whole, angle running through the show.
I tell you, I think they should have just had a GoPro at his house, during a regular Raw, just show Brock doing random things. I think there's so much comedic potential in this that tonight, I know the point of all these segments and Brock dressing down to Paul Heyman, we're supposed to hate Brock Lesnar, but I'm like, where's this guy been? I love this character.
Yeah, he's awesome. I mean, when he, him talking, I think that's the most he's spoken on the mic. In years, in the ring, and he didn't say much, but what he said was effective. The stuff he said backstage was effective. I feel like that's how he should have been used all this time. Having Heyman do his promos for him week after week without saying anything just got so redundant. I thought this Brock Lesnar was great. I enjoyed it.
I'm going to be rooting for him at SummerSlam. Want to see this kid get a chance, you know? I like his indifference.
Hey, man, the fans were going for Roman by the end, you know?
So weird.
When he delivered that line, so Roman came.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, let's run through that segment.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, so at the beginning, going through that segment, I mean, really the end, I like that Roman told Heyman, write this down, and Heyman reached in his pocket to get something out to write with. That was a nice touch. But what was the ending that he's going to be sending Brock back to UFC as Roman's bitch?
Yeah.
That got a pop.
And Heyman was basically saying that Brock, you know, is going to win. He's going to go to the UFC, and he'll come back as the champion of both UFC and WWE. Not making it sound like Lesnar wants to leave, but that he wants both belts.
Yeah, I mean, do you feel like at this point they've dragged it out so much? I mean, that's the thing. When they did this in the lead up to WrestleMania, there was that really good week when Roman got kicked out of the building. Like, it was hot. I feel like they have one of these hot weeks, and then they just screw it up. And then the match gets there, and it's like, Roman's not over. We're going to put it off longer.
Yeah, I hope not. I really do hope that they finally have Roman beat him. It'd be good to have the world title on the show. You know, I don't think, you know, growing up as a fan in the 80s, I don't think the top stars should be on every week. I think you should, you know, kind of have them on one week, maybe off a couple. You know, absence makes a heart grow fonder, and it just increases the longevity and everything. But having that storyline consistently there, the problem with Brock is that when the title's not on TV, there's just no story with him either. Whereas, you know, back in the 80s, you still had your feuds and stuff. They just weren't on TV every week. So Hogan's feuding with the big boss man, but they're not on every week.
Well, it's Brock, they have to pay him every minute that he's doing something for WWE.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it's cost prohibitive at that point.
Yeah.
You know, you think they would so like maybe do like, you know, some of those cheap Hollywood sequels, start reusing footage of Brock backstage before.
And hey, that's his deal. I'm fine with it. I'd rather he be there than not. But the world title, I feel like, should not be on him.
Yeah.
You know, bring him in for special feuds, do cool stuff with him. But the world title, it should be the central focus on the show. I mean, that's what it's supposed to be, right? That's the top title on the show. And to not have any storylines around it for months and months, you just kind of feel like they're running in circles creatively.
Well, it's completely devalued the Universal Championship, which I don't think ever really got a fair shake between Finn and Kevin and then Goldberg. I mean, really, once it went to Goldberg, it started to have this weird lineage.
Yeah, I mean, there hasn't been a Universal Champion wrestling on Raw since last March, so a year and a half.
Yeah.
So, hey,
Mr.
what's up,
Matt
Matt?
Morgan?
Hey, can you hear me? Okay. Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you great.
We got you loud and clear, man.
Because I can't hear myself.
Oh, okay.
So what's up?
What'd you think of Raw tonight?
I want your opinion.
I thought actually like this Brock. I would like to see this Brock every week, just hanging out backstage, doing different wacky stuff, not giving a damn.
It's who he really is, though.
Yeah, it's great.
I thought Brock was great. I liked him. I liked the Rollins match, but other than that, I thought the show was a complete miss.
Do those two see? Here's my thing. I kept thinking, like, what kind of grade do I give it? I give it a C every week. So how would this be different? I'm like, Brock was all over this one. You got to upgrade it there somewhere, you know? So I was thinking, could 2 good segments, potentially 3, raise it, you know? So that's the debate. I like the Rollins match a lot.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
How much do you think they paid Brock tonight to sit backstage reading the Backyardsman in American?
Well, they don't weigh his appearances differently. You know, it's a
so we got like $500,000, you know, or a couple $100,000 to sit backstage, catch up on his magazines. You know,
but hey, it made the show. That's all people really remember from it, right?
Yeah. But definitely good stuff. You know, this is why I don't, and I sound like a grizzled wrestler who has like this death wish for all creative teams, and that's like not my thing. It's really not. I worked really good hand in hand with a lot of the members of the creative when I was there. They'd come down to OVW. They were very good to me. So I mean, no harm, no foul when I say this is why you need to get the hell out of the talent's way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is such another sign of it to a degree. You lead them a little bit and get out of their way.
You know somebody that in WWE Creative hears secondhand what you say on this podcast, Matt, and they go, he's still pissed about that stutter thing.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. Actually,
bitter over the stuttering gimmick.
They're so new. It went behind the ears, dude. They probably don't even know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I could see it. So yeah, that opening segment set up that story tonight. We'll talk more about what happened there. And then we have Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin. So this went on like what? This was 3 segments tonight. This
went
was
on forever.
Very long match.
Too long. And I don't care. I do not care anymore.
That's the problem. Like the match was fine. It was good, but you don't care at all the whole match. It's like 30 minutes of not caring.
Don't care about Constable. You know, whatever. I can't Corbin. I can't stand it.
Yeah, and gosh, if he wants to be taken more, being seen as more than a mid-carder, he's gonna have to change that outfit because that outfit just screams,
It's I don't know what it screams. Not main event talent.
Yeah, it's like an '80s tag team, gimmick tag team.
It's stupid. It's so stupid. You do not cover up a guy with 300 tattoos.
Yeah, with the black shirt, with the vest. He actually looks, I think I dressed in something similar to that going to my 1990 homecoming dance as a freshman in high school.
I was saying he looks like a waiter.
Raj, that just rolls right past you, Raj. No comment on Glenn's little...
Oh, I had the vest. They played Ice Ice Baby. They played Ice Ice Baby like 5 times at my freshman homecoming dance.
All right, now I regret asking. Continue.
Yeah.
Keep going.
But he's starting to get this look. I think is making him look more immature, not as cool because Corbin was doing the smirk all the time. All
right. Well, more importantly, last week was I on last week?
Yeah,
I was. Okay. More importantly, they buried Finn Balor with this stupid house thing.
Yeah, right. And then he loses.
And he's taking he's glad handing in these photos. Finn, what are you doing? Stop.
And then he gets laid out afterwards. Not only does he get beat clean, then he gets laid out afterwards.
And this is what sucks because they say if you work your ass off and you're good and you're a good sport about things and you can work well with others, work with creative with what they give you, make the most of it. And I'm sitting there going, so I was like banging outside of my door right now.
I was like, are you doing laundry? What's going on?
Dude, I don't know if that's a big ass bug flying into my garage door. I don't know, but it's scaring me. Nonetheless, it's like you can't say no, Finn. You don't have, you know what I mean? It's like you do all these good things and you hope for the best, and it's being a good sport, but that's where it also can bury you. You know what I mean? You can't always say yes to everything. It doesn't mean you become a dick and say no. You know what I mean? But it means guys, do we really have to do this? This house thing is ridiculous. Guys, I'm not the tallest guy in the roster. I'm not the biggest. Doing this, this is going to be an uphill climb for me for the next 3 months. Just doing this one thing, please.
Well, isn't anything an uphill climb for him with how short he is? I mean,
he's shredded. He's shredded.
Oh,
he
no,
looks like an athlete.
Right. Absolutely. I don't know why
he's
this
got
is such
value,
a step down.
right? So why not protect the guys with value and not put them in these situations where it brings their star power down?
Yeah, even potential star power.
Yeah.
We're not using it right now. I don't care. It doesn't mean, you know what I mean? You don't protect these guys at the right times, especially versus Corbin.
Yeah, and Corbin, again, change his gear because I feel like he seems a lot more confident in this role. Like that promo he did last week, I thought he was good.
He was.
Just change his outfit in the ring. Just because you wear that backstage doesn't mean you need to be wearing that in the ring.
No, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, Finn needs the makeup back. The demon. I mean,
he does. Yeah, you're right.
Maybe this will lead to it. Maybe he keeps getting beat by Baron and bullied, and I don't know. It's something. But again, SummerSlam's like 2 weeks away, so they kind of have to hurry that up.
But it's always going to be there. You know what? The demon could climb himself out of that stupid picture I had to see online of him in that house. Seriously, I was on my Instagram, and that thing was everywhere. That's not a good thing.
No. They're not going to have Brock Lesnar doing that. No.
Why is that, Raj?
Exactly.
Why?
Because you look like a goof. You look like they're trying to equate him to a kid. And once you start, those images start, resonating and clicking like they did with Nakamura last year when Jinder was making fun of him. And then that stuff starts to seep in. Like, oh yeah, he does look kind of silly, instead of, oh, he looks different and cool. And now with Finn, it's not like, now it's not like, no, he is like a little kid just smiling all the time, as opposed to he's this badass guy who can turn into this really cool character. And he does, it can do really cool stuff in the ring.
Yep.
It is weird how they protect some guys with that. Again, notice occasionally there's a fat joke at Kevin Owens' expense, but it's very rare.
Oh no, I wouldn't say Kevin Owens is protected.
Yeah, they still bury him running around hiding in closets. And
right. Yeah.
But
being
they
thrown in
don't.
the porta potty.
They don't
Braun
disrespect
he has
his
a bowling
appearance.
ball in his shirt.
Yeah. That was actually pretty good. But by comparison, I'm saying it hasn't stuck to him. Like, that's what defines him. And I think that it can define you if you overdo it too much,
Yeah.
You just know that they would never say that kind of stuff to Triple H or Stephanie or Roman or Brock, Lashley, Drew. You could see who gets, made fun. Drew got sheep jokes, but they're not going to make fun of him at, for anything physical or anything with his ability.
He's still new. I mean, he's been there before, but he's new this time around. He's still got time.
Yeah. But you can tell they see him as something special right now. Like, they still haven't beaten him on TV.
They better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Baron Corbin won that match that went on forever with End of Days. Got the pin. Corbin stood tall. And
cool finisher, too. He's got an awesome finisher.
Yeah, that's good. Paul Heyman was backstage. Kurt Angle saying that if he did not get Brock out there, that Heyman's contract was going to be terminated. Further setting the tension up there throughout the night. And then we got a recap about the Evolution announcement from last week. How are you guys feeling about that? I didn't watch last week's podcast. Feeling good about Evolution?
Yeah, I didn't think this was a big deal, as they made it way too big of a deal. I kept going over and repeating like 300 times because it's like, we're past this. Like, as far as going, ticker tape parade, all women's pay-per-view, it's like, you guys, we already think you're there. In fact, I think they need their own show, is where most of us are at, as far as like women coming, stepping up and women's rights and all these other stuff, women athletes. Yeah. It's like, we're already there. Like, the rest of us fans, we're there. We want to see it. So it's like, they're still like way behind. Do you know what I mean? They're actually behind on this.
Yeah. And the problem I have with it too is just announce it and start building the matches too, or, just have them talk about it a little bit, but the way they're doing it they're doing it so over the top.
It's almost
it comes across as PR, like just cheap PR, like anyone can see through it.
It feels patronizing too, a little. It does feel a little patronizing.
Yeah. People are pointing out, there's been all women's pay-per-views before. TNA's done a bunch. They would do the one-night only knockouts.
Awesome Kong versus Gail Kim. I'm sorry, that was a women's revolution.
Yeah. I mean, that kind of kickstarted it in a lot of ways. When they were getting the highest rated segments, their matches were kicking ass.
Dude, she put her through the side of our stage for a shoot. Like, that wasn't gimmicked.
Yeah.
Dude, like that. They're so good, those two.
I just hope the build of this pay-per-view, it's not just constant, the historic nature.
Come on. They're going to do that over stories.
Rivalries and stars.
Dude, they have all the talents. They have all the characters in the women's division to do this, Raj.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, we did get some storyline build tonight. We had Natalya versus Alicia Fox, Alexa Bliss, Ronda Rousey, ringside. Alicia ended up winning the match over Natalya, but then Alicia got into it with Ronda, setting up a match for the two of them next Monday. I'm really excited about that, especially given the real-life storyline there, which, Raj, can you recap that for people?
Sure, and I think, man, so the night after, during WrestleMania weekend, Alicia Fox and Travis Brown had this little altercation in like the lobby of a hotel. Yeah. Alicia Fox was kind of telling him off, and he was like, "I didn't do anything," and it was a quick clip that someone captured on their cell phone. But if you put that on on TV, and just had Ronda, Alicia Fox showing that and being like, your husband disrespected me, and I want to slap the taste out of your mouth. Just something simple like that. That's embedded in reality. And that's, that would be something cool. Instead, they have her beating down someone who's supposed to be the baddest woman on the planet, right? Alicia Fox hasn't won a match since last October.
Yeah, yes.
And then she's putting the beat down on Rousey. Come on.
Weren't we just talking about how good job they do on protecting like the over people?
They do it for the over men and Stephanie McMahon. right?
Yeah. Well, Alicia's not winning next week.
Right.
Obviously.
I mean, they
still, when you see Ronda down and selling, should we ever see Homegirl being the one standing above her? Like it just doesn't fit.
Yeah, you shouldn't have Brock Lesnar getting beat down by the B team, right? You don't.
Right.
It should be the top stars in a big feud when you see her get beat down. She's something special. She legitimately is one of the toughest women on the planet.
Unless they have something huge for Alicia Fox, then it would make sense.
Yeah.
They don't. We know they don't.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, Alicia's solid. Seeing her in Natalia tonight was solid. I think they could do a storyline with her if it didn't seem so inevitable. Well, I think it's inevitable that Ronda's going to win her SummerSlam match in her next feud anyhow.
Right.
I don't know about you guys. If Alicia Fox was yelling at me, I don't care if I did it or not. I would just be apologizing for it. I'd be like Chunk in that scene in The Goonies with his hand in the blender. I'd just be confessing and apologizing for everything I've ever done if Alicia Fox was yelling at me.
What does that sound like? What do you mean?
Well, you remember Chunk when the Fratellis, they have his hand in the blender and they want him to confess and he starts talking about everything he did? You know, when you're like,
do it real quick.
I don't remember the speech.
Just do it. Come on.
I don't remember. I call it up, but no, I don't remember. But he's talking about pushing his sister down the stairs and blaming it on the dog. That's the last punchline that I remember. Oh, and making the vomit noises in the movie theater. I'm sorry,
Raj.
Matt.
I thought you would do this, Raj.
I've never seen the Goonies.
What?
So, yeah.
Stop the podcast.
Raj, I'm firing you from your own company and show right now. What?
I've never seen the Goonies.
I saw the music video 100 times at Roddy Piper and Captain Lou, but never saw the movie.
Wait, what? You saw what?
Remember there was the Goonies music video? I think it was for Goonies 2, and Roddy Piper was in it, Captain Lou.
Oh, I actually do, yeah. What is wrong with you?
Never had any desire to see it.
It's such a good movie.
Dude, it was on HBO like every day during the summer, millions of different times.
Oh, yeah. I've had plenty of opportunities to see it.
I think you would really like it, though. I mean, knowing what I know about your taste, like it's a pretty universally beloved film, especially people our age.
Universally beloved. Just say it's a classic.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like Back to the Future. Like, who doesn't like Back to the Future?
Right. That's my favorite movie of all time.
Well, there you go.
Oh.
I'm with you. Yeah, I'm Back to the Future is my top 3.
Definitely one of the best series of all times. Yeah. I loved all of them, honestly.
I did too.
Yeah. So, man, now we got to go back to talking about Raw. What a letdown.
That's how crappy that show is. Go ahead. Sorry.
So, Alicia Fox won that. She got into it with Ronda after, and that's setting up stuff for next week, Monday night. Alicia Fox, Ronda Rousey. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Well, but, yeah, there's real-life stuff. It could be cool.
They technically did the right thing, though, Raj. If we're doing booking one-on-one, they're trying to build to a match coming up next week that we've got to tune in and watch versus Ronda just jobbing her out in 20 seconds in a cold match. At least they attempted to set the table. You know, none of us are buying it, but at least they tried.
Yeah, I mean, they did the traditional booking where someone gets, beats the other person up and you get the revenge next week. It's tired, it's old. I get why they did it, but I think it would have been way more effective to use that real life storyline to set it up. You don't even have to have them touch.
Definitely.
Well, Nia Jax versus Alicia, that wasn't just a quick beatdown. I mean, Alicia went through the barrier on the wall. I mean, like, there was so much stuff happening there. So I hope this is maybe a little more competitive until Ronda gets her victory. Hey, we got a sponsor this episode, and it is Dollar Shave Club. I shaved last week. Did my quarterly shave in my face. Matt Morgan, is a fan. Matt, you just don't use Dollar Shave Club for your face. You do the whole body, right, man?
I do.
Wow. So those are strong razors, folks. I mean, look at Matt Morgan. With a chiseled physique like his, you need high-quality razors. Dollar Shave Club has them in spades, and they've got a ton of other stuff to help you out, to help you look, feel, and smell your best. Dollar Shave Club now has everything you need to get ready in the bathroom, and it is much more than just razors. Dollar Shave Club delivers everything: shampoo, conditioner, body wash, toothpaste, hair gel, and even a wipe that'll leave your tush feeling tingly clean. I'm a big fan, and it will. And let me tell you, guys, feel that, and you're like, ooh. It's an actual reenactment of the tingly clean feeling that you get. This stuff, the black sage and black pepper, hair and scalp shampoo. Love this. Been hooked on it since they introduced it. Absolutely fantastic. And all the stuff just smells incredible. Made with these high quality ingredients. Stuff much better than what you find in the store.
Seriously, why is that shampoo so good, really quick?
Well, sage and black pepper, think about that. If you ever had something with that flavor combination, that smell combination that you used for washing. Normally it's chamomile and rose hips and lavender. Like this is some manly stuff. I
don't have that. I need to get that. See, I do have all the lavender and the other crap.
Yeah, but with this sage and black pepper, it's just nice.
Yeah, it's awesome. I've been using it. And
don't be scared to send me some, guys.
Even this, so the face cleanser, citrus Hawaiian ginger, things like ginger in a face cleanser. I like it. I don't know about you guys. When I shave or when I shower in the morning, I'm still asleep. So when I get these scents, these strong scents that smell really good, I mean, it revitalizes me. It wakes me up. It's better than having a cup of coffee just to get a whiff of this.
I think that's the best way to put it. Every morning, I use it every morning, and I just feel refreshed. Like I just feel, refreshed. So it's amazing stuff.
Wish I could feel refreshed.
Dollar Shave Club, get this man out of box. Raj, place an order for him. Hook him up. Because here's a great way that all of you can try a bunch of Dollar Shave Club's products for just $5. You can get their Daily Essentials starter set that comes with the body cleanser, the One Wipe Charlies, which, yes, are their amazing butt wipes, their world-famous shave butter, and their best razor, the 6-blade Executive, and they'll keep the blades coming for just a few bucks a month. You can also add in the shampoo, the toothpaste, everything else you need. Check it all out at dollarshaveclub.com/INC. That's dollarshaveclub.com/INC. And we thank them for sponsoring the Wrestling Inc. podcast. I was at a podcast conference last week. I got to thank our fine network partners at Audio Boom and the fine agency of Dollar Shave Club for giving me an opportunity to say butt wipes in front of tens of thousands of people, at least once a month. So thank you, Dollar Shave Club, for sponsoring this podcast. Oh, man. So a lot else happened tonight. We got Elias out with the guitar tonight, and Bobby Lashley came out. Now, Elias called out The Rock. This kind of pivots into a news story. The Rock is currently talking with the WWE about doing something. There have been rumors about Elias and The Rock before. Raj, do you think this is the path they're going to go down?
I think it's kind of a waste. If he can only do like a quick 30-second match, then yes. That's, it seems early to start building for that.
Why is it a waste?
I mean, I think someone of his star power, if he's coming back for a real match, do it with someone like Roman or someone like that.
Okay.
Something huge that's going to get a ton of media attention. That's other than a undercard match. I love Elias. I think he's talented as hell. But
you don't think he gets that ton of media coverage coming back, no matter who it is, even if it's the broomstick?
He will, but I just think if he comes back, it should be a big dream match kind of thing.
For us fans is really who that would be for. It would be, we want to see a big match between him and Undertaker, him and Cena again, him and whoever, Roman, Lashley.
Right. But again, if he's always had that issue with the insurance with his movies. So if he's going to be filming, then obviously he won't be able to do it. Or if he's got a movie that he starts filming right after, the insurers probably wouldn't insure him because he got injured when he wrestled Cena the second time at WrestleMania, and it delayed the shooting of Hercules. And
how long?
Even delaying it a day costs tens of thousands, maybe even more. And I think that was delayed like 30 days.
Wow.
Pushed out. And he had another movie, Pain and Gain, that had just come out, and he couldn't do media for it. So
good job, Cena.
Yeah, right. So,
especially Pain and Gain is like the movie that you could point to and be like, The Rock can act.
Right. That was kind of.
He was so good in that.
He was.
Do you guys think that Skyscraper doing poorly is kind of maybe what prompted him thinking maybe I should go back and do something with the WWE again, sort of get my mojo back?
Well, Skyscraper's doing well worldwide. It's gonna be profitable.
What about Rampage?
Rampage, it underperformed in the U.S., but it also made money worldwide.
So a lot of my friends really liked it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but all these movies, The Rock is so huge in China right now that his movies in China are opening bigger than here. So they make money. I just think Rock has too many movies coming out in a close amount of time, and it would probably help them to take a little break and extend the releases out a little bit. So maybe a WrestleMania, and if you got no big projects on the table.
Raj, where did this all come from that he all of a sudden wants to come back? Like, what's the deal with that?
It had been rumored. He's been talking about it in interviews, and then I guess
there
was something in the Observer about it too, that he wants to come back. do one match at WrestleMania. So we'll see. I mean, he wanted to do this last year's WrestleMania. He was supposed to be in that spot where that Kurt Angle took. It was supposed to be Rock and Rousey against Triple H and Steph, but it's always the movie commitments.
Yes, I remember this.
Yeah, there's an interview somewhere on the site with The Rock talking about how he had been talking with Vince about it, and it came close, but he just couldn't do it with his commitments.
Huh. Well, tonight we had Elias and Bobby Lashley singing Rockin' Robin, a song that we were trying to figure out on Twitter.
Okay.
Why did the WWE pay for the rights to a song? Rockin' Robin, strangely, is in the public domain, even though it came out in 1958. Bobby Lashley messed up the words. Elias got pissed, hit him over the head, beat him up.
I think Lashley's mic cut out or something, too. I think he had
I thought he just didn't know the words to, pass the chorus to the song.
Yeah, but then Elias took that mic, too, and it was hard. He wasn't clear on it. I thought Elias was great here. Bobby, not so much.
We just got done saying the Lashleys of the world get protected. No, they don't.
Well, protected in he's not being made fun of as like.
You don't think they were laughing all day setting this up for Bobby?
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, he shouldn't be singing for a long period of time, and if he is, he really should know the lyrics.
He should be a monster that just doesn't talk until they let him be a heel.
Yeah, the smiling, happy baby face. I just feel like maybe that's who he is, but I don't think that works with the crowd. It never has, actually.
Nope, not anymore.
Yeah, so that set up their feud further. So they're going to have a match at SummerSlam, I'm assuming.
So, yeah. So they were singing, and then Elias attacked Lashley from behind.
Yeah, Kevin Owens backstage with Baron Corbin, congratulating him for knocking the smile off Finn Balor's face. Kevin's going to be facing Braun at SummerSlam for that Money in the Bank contract. That vignette led to Braun Strowman versus Jinder Mahal. Kevin interfered with that, took Braun's case, and Braun ended up getting counted out of that match. Yeah, I mean, what do you think about this trajectory, Matt?
I think it's a win for Jinder Mahal. What?
Get on Jinder.
Take him, Jinder.
Yeah.
I thought the segment was really entertaining, and I think it accomplished what it needed to.
And that's because of Kevin. Kevin was the glue of that entire thing working.
Yeah, and the fact that he could lose the Money in the Bank by getting counted out. Granted, they really like to hit you over the head with these stips, but so that's what this was designed for. Yeah. Braun losing his second match in 3 weeks, even though it was only a count out.
Count out though.
Nobody remembers it because I already forgot the other one.
Yeah, Kevin Owens. He technically won their steel cage match.
Their steel cage match. I just remembered now, but before you said that, I wouldn't have.
Yeah.
Then we had backstage, the locker room, Mike Kanellis, the Ascension.
Real quick. One more thing about Lashley, and Matt, we've talked about this before. He looks so comfortable doing promos in Impact, and I just feel like the stuff they're giving him, it just doesn't fit him, and they really need to let him just cut loose and stop scripting him so much, because he was getting really good in Impact. I feel like they're gonna have him regress on the mic.
And that's what happens. There's a little bit of confidence issue as well, where you're getting crap, right? Yeah. And you're not allowed to be yourself. And Bobby, let's be clear, TNA wasn't doing that because they're like, oh, Bobby's a great promo. We're just going to give him bullet points. We're scared of him. We're scared to say, here's your promo, Mr. Lashley, and have him go, all right, I'm leaving. See you guys. So don't take credit, TNA, for trying to develop Bobby Lashley as a promo. You're terrified of him.
What year did that stop in TNA when they realized they can't be like, you're going to read this, or there's the door, mister?
I wish I could tell you. I was only, 2008, I think is when I started. I was handed one because me and Cornette were in the same promo.
Yeah.
And then from that moment forward, I would only get bullet points.
Yeah.
Was that when Russo was there? Because I thought Russo would script the promos.
Yes, but with me, he would get with me and say, "Hey, I didn't even bother putting you in here because you're gonna knock it out of the park. Here's all we need you to sell."
Yeah, and I know they're not scripting promos in Impact now. Don Callis is very.
Oh, Don Callis is there?
Yeah. He's the vice president now, and
wow,
Impact's it's been a lot better.
Don Callis, the vice president of TNA.
Yeah.
I wonder how I gotta watch.
Yeah, it's been a lot better.
Aren't they doing it at like bars now?
No.
Did I read that right? They're shooting it like at nightclubs or something?
No, I mean, where they held Slammiversary, it's like convention hall or something like that. It's
Okay,
not
maybe it was
a
something
real
else.
arena.
Yeah, but they're like different venues.
Yeah, and then they're teaming with like these indie feds and doing the tapings there. And I think that's my biggest thing with Impact is it's still, when they do some of these tapings, sometimes comes across as a little low rent.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, but
you know what though? I mean, charm can get you a long ways if the product is still good and the story is good.
yeah,
know?
exactly. And hey, I'm all for like smaller, intimate venues too. I loved ECW when they did that. WWF in the 90s, they had this show called Shotgun Saturday Night. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and some of those they would do them at like these nightclubs and bars, and it was like a really cool atmosphere. They abandoned it to becoming like a Superstars thing where they taped it before the show. But
The problem with it not being charming, Glenn, if TNA does it, and I don't mean to jump on the bash TNA bandwagon here, because I worked there and I love working there, but they have failed time after time with certain big deals, and so it's not like they're starting out and crescendoing to these smaller venues. They were in big venues, and now they're playing down to these. So it's not like so you know what I'm saying? Now a lot of people say they find it endearing and charming. No, when Ring of Honor does it, it's charming. When these other companies do it, it's charming, but not when someone like Impact, who had all the money in the world, all the talent in the world, and we were in Chicago at what's the main one in Chicago, main arena? What is wrong with me? Allstate or something?
Allstate Arena.
We were in some big ass arenas all around there, man.
Yeah, no, 5 years ago you guys were at Universal Studios taping. I mean,
But like,
but they would move their pay-per-views around and stuff.
Yeah.
Toronto, I mean, all over the place, and they were packed. Los Angeles.
Yeah, I think that's to your point, Matt. It comes across as depressing when you kind of see where they were, and if they would have kept that Spike TV deal with how much money they're giving to for sports rights right now, man, and if they had managed to keep that 1.2 to 1.5 million viewers that they were getting each week,
yeah.
They probably could have gotten a big money deal now.
Shoot, that sucks.
Yeah, and because 1.2, 1.5, that's not too far off from what SmackDown does.
Yeah. No, it's true. So Mojo versus Bobby Roode's happening next week. Is this making Mojo better or making Bobby Roode worse?
Both.
Okay.
I think by putting Roode in the back with the Ascension and Zack Ryder, just
what the freak was that?
Yeah, that visual imagery just kind of puts him down even more, puts him down a couple more notches.
I do not get it. Just out of, isn't there a wrestling book somewhere, a wrestling rule 101 rule or something like that? That if your talent wears a cool ass robe, they're not seen with jobbers.
Yeah.
Ever. They're special. They come out of limos. They're drinking wine. They're rich somehow. They get chicks. They're cool.
Yes. And that's exactly what Roode should be. He should be a heel that's better, that thinks he's better than everyone. He's living the life. He's kind of, basically Ric Flair, just kind of. Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, he's like Priceline Ric Flair right now.
He should be Bobby Roode in TNA.
Yes.
When he was with Fortune.
And it was very different when Bobby did it. I didn't think he was trying to be Flair.
Yeah, exactly. Totally. Yeah. I mean, he was great, and even with beer money when he was the money guy, it's what they're doing with him right now is not working. He needs a heel turn bad, and he needs to be that arrogant, I'm better than everyone character.
Yep. And we keep saying what Raw needs heels, right?
They need him bad.
Well, hey, they got Mojo.
I mean, they've beaten Owens to death, even though he technically beat Strowman. But for the most part, they made him look completely ineffective. He doesn't look like like he can hang, like he's a threat to the top guys right now. Right. So then, who else do you got? Drew McIntyre's not ready yet. I mean, he will be.
Right.
You kind of got no one else.
They think they have Dolph.
Yeah.
Hey, straightened his hair, and everything. It's a good look. Apollo Crews versus Akam from Authors of Pain tonight. Titus Worldwide out there.
The formula.
We know it. I was just gonna say the crisscross formula. We know this.
And the tag team formula, where you have the singles matches, and then they wrestle.
There'll be another one next week. Did they announce it? Will there be another one next week between?
I'm sure there will. I'm sure next week will be
Razor.
Titus against Razor, right?
Seriously, yeah, for sure.
and titles will win, and then strangely authors.
No, I think Razor will win this time.
Oh, you think Razor will win?
Apollo won here.
Apollo won here.
I thought the pay-per-view match, then the authors of pain get their comeuppance.
Well, we got 2 weeks, so I think Titus loses, and then they do something to get the upper hand the week after, and then they win.
And then on the SummerSlam pre-show, authors of pain.
Here's what sucks. What would I kept saying to my wife? I go, why would they beat these guys in any context? And I answered my own question. I was like, because they don't have a tag division where it even matters if they're unstoppable monsters or not.
Yeah, him getting pinned right off the bat it just takes some of that edge off of Authors of Pain.
The mystique and monsterness or whatever, I don't know what it is, but that thing.
Yeah.
Them doing promos tonight, use all the book metaphors. Like, dear God, like they were so not cool doing their own promos.
They need it. They need an Ellering.
Yeah.
I mean, if Ellering's willing to travel, he said he was, and it's just one night a week. He only needs to be there for Raws and pay-per-views.
It's not like they're on every episode.
He doesn't need to go to house shows.
There's nothing, and this is what I don't get. They say managers are dated. I don't get how that is. I wouldn't have no problem with that. And it's not a throwback nostalgia. I want to see, a guy I watched as a little kid be a manager for the Road Warriors nostalgia thing. That's not why I'm saying it. He fits with them. It looks right. It made sense from day one. And that's all I think about. I don't go, well, what are they doing? They used to do this in the 80s. This is stupid. Click. Like, I don't know why they think that's what we think.
It's so backwards, too, because you see how effective Heyman and Lesnar have been. You see how effective Heyman was with CM Punk. And the Miz's career was almost dead before Maurice came back. And, being paired with Maurice, and all of a sudden, he's where he is now. I mean, he became a real back-to-the-top superstar. Well, being paired with Maurice, it added so much to him.
And he was the mouthpiece of that. It wasn't like the manager, there's so many different ways you could go. The manager doesn't have to do the talking. You said with Paul Lee and Punk did the majority of the talking. Just Paul staying there with the championship high above his head was dicky enough to get the heat that Punk needed. It worked. There's so many different ways you can go. It doesn't have to be the stereotypical manager talks the entire time. For the two guys we just talked about, the young authors of pain, yes, definitely need someone to speak for them.
Yeah.
Something at this point. I mean, it's just that was bad tonight, that promo.
It makes them look less tough when they speak English.
Well, because they weren't developed. I mean, in NXT, they weren't known for their promos. You have these guys that have their ring shtick down, you put them on the main roster, and then they're talking all of a sudden?
I was told something similar, that my voice and how I talk very quickly, the words I use, my vernacular, hurts me, would take away from my size, I was always told when I was with WWE. And I didn't understand. I thought it was ridiculous. And I'm like, that fits the whole Giant 2.0 gimmick, guys. I'm an educated giant. It makes sense. You don't have to be some big knuckle-dragging Neanderthal. And but now looking back, I kind of see it, like how somebody talks, what they say, how important it is. And it can take away. It can take away from the monster, you know what I mean?
And the AOP, they didn't do English promos in NXT, right? They would just...
No, I don't remember. No, and I think that worked, though. That worked, them not talking English.
And people pointing out Zelina Vega, right? Like her pairing with Almas. Like he was
good call, fans.
On the quick train to nowhere. And,
good call, fans. Oh, my God. So think about it. She made a champion.
Yeah.
She didn't just get this dude over. She made a champion out of nothing because I didn't care about him at all.
And Lana and Rusev, how much she did for his character. I mean, there are just so many examples. I mean...
That's a good one.
It's just Vince gets into these certain things get stuck in his head, and he just feels like that's how it has to be.
Yeah.
When his own history shows him otherwise.
So he's the one who's against the manager still?
Yeah, he's the one that feels it's outdated.
Gotcha.
So Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins tonight, ending with interference by Dolph Ziggler. These matches go on. I mean, man,
This one I was happy with. Though. I was happy this one went on.
Oh, I'm glad it went on. I just feel like that DQ ending, I really want the big stakes match with a definitive winner, because I feel like they just, with Rollins, he runs this into the ground because he could put on such a great match.
I'm with you, Glenn.
Have we not seen this finish already?
I'm sure we've seen. Didn't we see Drew interfere a couple weeks ago?
Oh, okay.
I feel like we've seen, I just feel like we've seen variations of this over and over recently.
Yeah.
But I'm with you, Glenn. I think if you're doing a long match and then just to have a crap ending with a DQ, it just feels like you just wasted your time. Even if the match was good, the fact that it just feels like it was there to kill time by the end. But you had the long match just to kill time, since there was no storyline outcome. You know what I mean?
But they're saying, look, we just gave you a pay-per-view match, guys. What else do you want?
Yeah.
Well, a finish, like a real ending. You could have Drew beat Seth. It doesn't, Seth has been getting beat by
You
Dolph.
would be okay with that?
I would be with Drew, because Drew, he's on that ascent. I have a problem with Seth losing to Dolph.
Yeah.
Drew, not so much, because Drew, I feel like it doesn't hurt Seth that much, and it builds to something down the road if they want to go there.
I would love that.
Drew tonight, that was a move of the night when he did the spine buster, then flipped over on Seth for the cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for a big guy, that was super impressive.
Drew was awesome.
Yeah, love that tonight. But yeah, I feel like they're gonna just run it into the ground if they keep doing it with these long matches. Yes, thank you for that little Cool J reference. So after that, okay, we got the B team out there, and they went on commentary while Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt went rounds with the Revival tonight. The Revival picking up a win though.
Yay.
It was good.
I'm happy they technically got a win.
This is what the fans think of these. So I just feel like Matt seems bored now with this whole Woken thing. He just doesn't seem into it. He's just kind of going through the motions out there. Bray and him, I just think it's just done. And the fans, they're chanting like CM Punk, and that was during this match, right? They started doing all their chants.
Yeah. They were. I don't blame them. It is what it is. And Matt's bored with it. I don't blame him either.
Yeah, they've been feeding him crap.
Big time. Not only crap, but making something that was his incredibly 90,000% worse. Or bad. Worse implies that his first gimmick was bad, which it wasn't.
Yeah.
When he first did this, we talk about it all the time, it was money. It was original. It was new, free-flowing. He was out there just flowing. It made sense.
Yeah, watch his promo tonight, and then go back on YouTube and watch, one of his broken segments from TNA, and it's just like a 180. He seems way more energetic, way more into it. It's way more interesting, and this is just going, again, we're going through the motions.
Throw house shows in there now where TNA, he wasn't on the road. We have to throw that in there too, right?
Yeah, but
he's not getting beaten down. He's not mentally getting beaten down 4 days a week, doing the same tired shtick. TNA, he's just coming doing TV and cool. Oh, you're coming to my house and we're filming it? Sweet. So I don't know. Maybe there's a little bit more life, but still, WWE killed this gimmick for him.
Yeah.
And it was.
I'm sorry.
So this was, in my opinion, a far-reaching gimmick. This could have set up, in my opinion, a brand new wrestling company out there that just did everything exactly like that.
Yeah, like this wacky breaking the fourth wall, wrestling promotion. I see what you're saying, and when Matt left TNA right before they debuted with WWE, he was hot on the indie scene.
Yeah,
right? They wanted that gimmick, and it was the most over thing. I think if he left now, it wouldn't be as over, just because it's kind of been run to the ground. It still will be over, but not near as much as it would have been a year ago or 2 years. Was it last year they came back, or 2 years?
It was a year ago WrestleMania.
It was last year's WrestleMania. Yeah, it feels like a while.
But yeah, I think that's what they should do when they leave the WWE is they should start their own Fed and just start producing at the Hardy compound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, right? But I was thinking about when you were saying it, Matt, it's like, imagine how much better as a performer you would be if you got to tape stuff on your off days as opposed to I show up on Monday, I get there, they give me the thing, and we have to shoot it backstage or do it in the ring.
And it's an all-day thing. I mean,
Yeah.
so was TNA TVs too. You get there at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and the show don't start to 8.
Yeah. But he was calling his own shots, though. He was shooting stuff on his own.
Definitely with TNA was for sure. Who has a Seinfeld ringtone?
Not me.
I don't.
Oh, sorry.
I'd love one though. Matt, you guys, Glenn, you know Matt Hughes?
Yeah, of course.
UFC Hall of Famer.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. No, I'm not familiar.
He suffered a serious head injury last year in June. Struck by a truck. Anyway, he came back. He was backstage at Raw, so
Okay.
that was pretty cool. it looked like, it looked like really serious for a while, and he recovered, and he was backstage at Raw. So pretty cool.
It's a good story for the character.
Yeah.
They sign him.
He's not going to be wrestling. No. He's still he sustained permanent injuries.
Oh, gotcha. So he was just backstage.
He was just backstage visiting. Yeah.
Gotcha. No, I'm not as familiar with Mr. Hughes and his story. I thought it was gonna be like a 50 Cent thing for a second, where it's like it's so much more interesting if somebody goes through that. So the Riot Squad versus Sasha Banks and Bayley. Sasha and Bayley tonight with matching gear. They're solidifying that tag team action against the Riot Squad, who looked like a weird female low-rent Ascension. Was that just me picking that up with Sarah's makeup?
Yeah. Dude, if they're tipping their hand, you guys, there's no way in hell these two are staying as a tag team.
I hope not, because they're doing nothing for me right now.
They're not. Matching outfits? No, they tip their hand way too much.
You're talking about the Riot Squad, right?
No,
you're talking about Sasha and Bayley.
Sasha and Bayley.
Oh, I'm talking about the Riot Squad. They're doing nothing for me right now.
They're not. But Sasha and Bayley, as far as splitting up, it's no question.
Yeah.
When they're wearing matching tag team, you know what I mean? Tag team. Yeah, let's go. I'm Marty. You're Sean. Let's go. You know what I mean? Like, they're overdoing it. They're tipping their hand.
I'm guessing this will be Evolution, right? It'll be Sasha versus Bayley. I think. Way too soon to do it at SummerSlam, and now they got this pay-per-view. You need some big matches on there, and that's one of the biggest that they've had like an 8-month crappy build, but it's still two of the the best women they have in the company.
Yes, on a women's pay-per-view. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, especially because they didn't announce tag titles and tag belts, so this is going to be short-lived, I think.
I say they get their own show within the next 365 days. Is my prediction.
I don't know. Okay. I don't know how well a women's show would do. You look at 205 Live; those fans are dead. And if they do it after,
do guys still watch wrestling, women's wrestling, because they're pervs?
No. Oh, there's a good segment of that.
Because if that's still a demographic out there, I think that's not the only reason people are going to watch. But that's another demographic that 205 doesn't get.
The first demographic.
You know what I'm talking about?
I think there is far less
TV when we were watching wrestle back. They go, "Who's that? Oh, that's Sable. Oh shit, she's hot." It sits down.
Hey, that exists for men's wrestling too, Matt. Didn't you have one of those weird film shoots where it's like, "So what's this guy do with the videos?" You don't want to know, bro. Did you talk about that in the Robbie E thing?
Yes.
So let's be fair. They exist for both men and women.
I think it's a much smaller a percentage of fans that watch women's wrestling for that now than back in the day, for sure.
But it exists still. I mean, you see it. I think that I don't know. I mean, I'm sure the Evolution will be the big testing of the waters. They'll look at the numbers. They'll look at the gate. I don't know how it doesn't sell out that venue.
Okay. Well, here's the thing, though, guys. I would watch the main event of that show each week. If you guys are like, hey, it's going to be Bayley versus Charlotte or something like that, I would tune in and watch. Whereas if you told me two jabrones on 205 is the main event, I'm not watching.
Well, but I think that's the thing. You want your big stars to be seen by the most people, because when they're not on, I mean, I'm sure most fans don't know who most of the guys on 205 Live are now, because they're not on the big stage. You have to seek it out. And I think with the women's show, it would be on the network. So you got to seek it out. And then but I think if you did a women's show as a way to build for them to go to the main roster, but you kind of already have that with NXT. I almost think yeah, and the Mae Young Classic. So
you definitely put the Mae Young Classic on that show if they do.
Yeah,
have an all-women show. I'm saying
Mae Young Classic was great last year. I mean, I didn't know who 70% of those women were, and I was caught up in their story.
Yeah.
I like the variety of it. So Sasha Banks and Bayley hit the win tonight, but we shall see how long this lasts. So we had Heyman backstage with Brock again, setting that up, trying to get him to come out there. Heyman ended up coming out by himself. But Brock, before that, dressed him down, was mean to Paul Heyman. That was a moment where I was like, oh, Brock, you bastard. How dare you say such mean things that Paul Heyman's not your friend.
That was pretty cool. I like that. I just think it just adds to his character. You don't see it much. And that doesn't really give a crap about him. He's there to help him out. He's a whatever advocate, but he doesn't really care that much about him, and doesn't really care that much about anything. He's there to get paid and leave. And I like that. I like that, how they showcase that.
Yeah. Of course, Lesnar did end up coming out there, hit an F5 on Kurt Angle, got up in Roman's face, got up in Heyman's face, and then people were chanting for Roman. That's right, because Roman was not supposed to be there. Oh, and he got up in Corbin's face as well, which I wonder if someone had to explain to him who Baron Corbin was.
Yep.
Because he doesn't watch Raw. So with this, how this ended, how are you feeling about Lesnar, Matt? This made me like Lesnar more, but it seems like the crowd was like, oh, they want Roman now. Vince's plan is working, you know?
You just said everything right there.
Yeah.
Wait, you're still talking about the backstage segment, right?
No, when they were out there, like the end result of that, you know?
Yeah, at the end they were chanting, we want, so Brock hit Kurt Angle with the F5.
That's what he said. Where were you, Raj? He already went over this.
Sorry, I was looking at the chat.
He already banged that out.
But the fans were chanting, "We want Roman." When was the last time you've heard that?
Job well done.
Yeah, it worked.
It worked finally.
It won't work in New York.
It will not work in New York. Yeah.
It worked here in Miami. I mean, that was, Roman got booed coming out, but by the end of that segment, they were cheering him, and by the end of the night, they were cheering Roman. So
that is, by the way, a wrestler's pot of gold is to change one's reaction all within either one show or one segment, even if you're really good. And really good storyline writing, where nobody's making a heel turn, but like you're going out there as an earnest babyface and you're still not really there yet. All right, Austin versus Bret Hart. They always call it a double switch, but people did not get that message watching it. You know what I mean? I didn't. I stood up and cheered because he busted his ass in that match. He went balls to the wall. We all stood up and clapped his performance.
There, you want to know another great one was Dolph and Alberto Del Rio. When Del Rio was having that crappy babyface run, and Dolph had the concussion, was out, and he was the world champion and came back, and then Del Rio just kept kicking him in the head, like so ruthless that the fans just completely turned on Del Rio. Yeah, that was another good one, another good double turn where they switched the crowd reactions by the end.
And
when I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying it's really difficult to do as a babyface to try your best, and they're still not feeling you yet, and they're booing you. But by the time your segment's done, they're cheering you. That's really well done.
What's weird though is this all happened because of Brock, though, not because of something.
No question. Yes, you're right. But Roman had to have some redeeming qualities there for them to give them that.
Yeah.
I love this Brock. I liked his promo. I liked it short and sweet. I feel like you don't need to give him a 15-minute promo every week. Just once in a while. Don't have Paul do his talking. Let him do the talking for himself.
You've been saying that forever. Yeah. You've been saying that forever.
Yep.
Yeah, Brock's effective with very few words.
Yeah. Came across like a monster. I mean, the larger-than-life monster, scary guy.
Bully, bad mother, you know what? Yep, all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now that we talked about it all, Matt, how do you feel about Raw tonight?
I'm giving it I always give it a C or C minus. I say C plus. C plus plus. I can't give them a B minus.
Yeah, I mean, it was like a two-thing show, right? It was Drew versus Seth was good with a crappy ending, and then this Brock segment I thought was great. So I'll say C plus as well, because the rest of the show is completely skippable. I kind of like the Strowman Jinder stuff. It wasn't boring or bad. Elias I thought was really good, but Lashley, didn't work in that segment. So
we could have missed the majority of the show. It'd be fine.
Yeah.
How many weeks till SummerSlam? 2 more Raws?
Almost 3. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. And SmackDown's tomorrow night. We'll be back here Wednesday noon Eastern to talk about SmackDown Live. I did not watch Ms. and Mrs. yet from last week. Did either of you guys check it out?
No.
I did. It's a breath of fresh air from the stuff I'm used to from WWE with Total Divas and Total Bellas and that over-the-top drama. It's not something I'd seek out, but it's on after SmackDown. It's easy to watch. It's only a half an hour. And they come across as a couple that, are pleasant. They like each other and they enjoy each other's company, as opposed to there's all this drama around them. Right. And I hope they don't go in that direction. But it was a change of pace from what you're used to seeing with Total Bellas and Total Divas.
I'll have to check that out.
Real quick, Matt, we talked a little bit about Brian Christopher before the show. Early in the show. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I didn't know what happened.
Brian Christopher passed away.
Oh my God! How?
All right, I'll catch you up after we go off the air here.
Oh no, I
But
don't read the stuff anymore.
Brickhouse Brown and Nikolai Volkoff all passed away on Sunday.
Together? Were they in a car or something?
No, just
Sorry,
different.
I did not mean to laugh at that, but the fact, Matt, that you asked that question, that is a logical question to ask.
3 people? Yeah.
Yes.
Holy crap. No, I did not know that. I've only met Brian a handful of times, seemed like a cool enough guy to me. I don't know. I just know a lot of friends of mine really liked him a lot, too. That sucks.
No, absolutely. Yeah, Nikolai, man. I guess, we just have to reconcile this fact that all these legends we grew up watching as kids.
Dude,
we're getting older.
He was the third or fourth action figure you bought as a kid. You bought Andre, Stud, and Hogan. Those were your first 3. And you always got Iron Sheik, and you had to go get Volkoff because of that.
Yeah, we were mentioning earlier, the very first match of the very first Saturday night's main event, Nikolai was in it. And the very second Saturday night's main event, he was wrestling Hulk Hogan for the WWF title.
Huge. I was all over the WWF magazine, and I had it hanging up on my wall. I cut it out from the magazine. It was the night that Hulk saw red was the name of the title of it. And it was, there he was. It was legitimately, we were worried Volkoff was going to beat him, and it trounced the American flag, and all these things that I was terrified for happening. He was great. He was so great. Yeah.
Oh, man. That first Saturday night main event, I'll have to go back, find that online. I think I've told you guys, I found, the war to settle the score. Yeah, I know, but I like watching it with the commercials, the atmosphere. I have the brawl that ended all. I have the MTV recording of that. War to settle the score. Some of the old Saturday night main events.
I just recently watched that on MTV, on YouTube.
Yeah. There's something about seeing with the commercials and everything. That's when it really takes you back,
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's cool seeing those old commercials too.
Oh, absolutely, man. Okay, so let's wrap it up for tonight. We'll be back here.